Professor Rajaraman, Mr. Sahu, very distinguished audience here. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be here, and I must really thank Dept Sahu for the opportunity to listen to a very beautiful visionary roadmap that Professor Rajaraman has laid down in terms of this cloud computing. In fact, in the Department of e-Governance, we had a great opportunity as well as the privilege of having Professor Rajaraman guide us in the entire e-Governance activities in Karnataka. I am here as a user of the technology. I really would like to pick one sentence that Professor Rajaraman used in his presentation. Computer is not an end, it's a means. Today, in the realm of our public lives or the private lives, whatever it is, one of the most critical things that we are hearing is about governance or the lack of it, the governance deficit. In fact, so much so that there was a discussion in the assembly, the parliament, that governance deficit was mentioned by somebody, and then there were contract lines that no, governance deficit was not brought about or mentioned at all. All of us, thanks to Anna Hazare, today the governance deficit has become the most important keyword. And in order to address this governance deficit, what are the parameters of this governance itself, good governance? Good governance is nothing but how the way the rules, power, authority that is vested in the government is exercised. If it's exercised in a benign manner, if it is exercised in a good manner, then we say there is good governance. The tenets of such good governance are these: transparency, accountability, inclusiveness, then efficiency. Can I deliver the services in a very efficient way? These are the tenets of good governance. And technology is a great enabler to deliver good governance. Thanks to some very visionary leadership we have had in Karnataka, and also thanks to, most important, Professor Rajaraman is the Bhishma Pitamaha of e-Governance in Karnataka. He has been associated with the e-Governance department for the last almost about 15 years. Thanks to such visionary leadership and guidance, we have had several first credits. Be it the Bhumi project, be it the treasury automation, or be it the efficient non-stop 24/7 citizen service delivery like Bangalore one. On the data center itself, we are the first in the entire country to have our own data center, a state data center, way back in 2005, when currently now the data centers are being set up by all the different state governments under the NEGP. Karnataka had its first data centers in 2005 itself. Not only that, today whatever we are talking in terms of cloud, virtualization, everything, we are the first data center to adopt virtualization technology and reap the benefits of that for almost last about 3 years. I am mentioning these things basically because I am trying to relate whatever we do to the entire technology frameworks that are available. Last year, Karnataka government, we spent about 300 crores on e-governance. And e-governance is not just about buying computers, it's about everything. Very critical things you mentioned, the technology, people, process put together. We spent nearly around 300 crores, and this is a budget that is continuously growing. As the budget is growing, so is our quest for doing things in a much more efficient way, much more effective way. And in terms of cloud itself, we are, as a service provider, I had an organization called Center for e-Governance, which is the e-service provider to the government. And we provide all the services, the networks, wide area networks, local networks, the data center services, and also enterprise level applications. And I also work with the government departments to help them plan and implement various e-governance initiatives. In that realm, actually what I run the private cloud. I run the private cloud for the entire government, providing infrastructure as a service as well as software as a service. And the concept of cloud also has caught on within the government domain. Today, two major state governments are providing cloud services. One is the Madhya Pradesh, where the CSC program, the Common Service Program of Madhya Pradesh, is being offered as a cloud service and being used by Jammu Kashmir. In our own context, we have an enterprise application called e-procurement, through which we procure about $7 billion worth procurement of government of Karnataka. And this is now being used by Food Corporation of India, which by itself procures about $8 billion every year. That's the kind of the area that we are getting into. So accepting, in my data center, we are already virtualized. There is a multi-tenancy. Accepting that I don't have a self-servicing portal, I am cloud ready. Now, within the government, we are looking at completely making it a cloud this one. But at the same time, there are also concerns which have been brought out by Professor Rajaraman, the whole issue of security. Probably it's a virtual fear, but still, it's a fear that is there. Second issue relates to the business model. That's also the point that he talked about. And one other very critical issue is about the liabilities itself within the cloud computing environment. I was told by one of the very senior professors that one of the artists, he had stored all his very valuable photographs on a cloud service offered by somebody. And the photographs were suddenly lost, or whatever, probably there was not a good DR kind of a mechanism. And then the company sent him a sweet note saying that this had been lost. But in lieu of that, he would be offered another 500 hours of computer usage time, as a server time, which would mean nothing. So liability, this is another very important issue. The service levels, that's another very important issue. And also the standardization. I think, these are the kind of concerns that we in the government have, probably many in the corporate also have. And it was really heartening and it was a great education. Let me confess here, I am a non-IT person. I am from the Indian Forest Service. But for the last 3 years, I have been heading this e-governance and learning every moment, because I have a fundamental principle in life. It is Ano Badra Krutavo Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from all directions and every minute. So I have been a great learning, thanks to Professor Rajaraman, Professor Krishnamurthy of this one. We have been learning a lot. So all the time our concerns have been how do we address that. In fact, it's an extremely great education for me to be here and to listen to this cooperative cloud. I think there's a beautiful roadmap there for all of us to work on. From the government side, I would like to kind of tell my friends here who are from the industry, who are the service providers, who are the product providers, that Karnataka government is an extremely open government in terms of willingness to try and adopt new technology. Most of you are familiar with my principal secretary. We have a very, very inspirational man heading the department, Mr. M. Vidyashankar. And with him, the question is not whether we can do something, it's a question of how soon we can do that. So we are extremely open in that. So I look forward to great interaction with the people here, looking at the various offerings they have, and at the end of the day, helping us to do or hand out better governance to people of Karnataka. Thank you very much.